So if you're a business owner and you're only relying on outbound emails, cold calls, or referrals to generate new clients, and you need a new system, this is going to be the video for you. So I'm going to break down the exact system that we've used to generate our clients. I'm going to show you how our calendar system works, our automation system, how to include a SDR to make phone calls on your behalf of the business, and all of this will kind of show the automations in place, how the appointment setters work, and how it will all work in synchronization to ensure that we are getting as many booked calls as possible. And not only just booked calls, but what we have in place is going to make sure that people actually attend the calls as well, because we're maintaining the 5 touch points throughout.
Okay, perfect. So we are now over on the CRM, and this is the software called GoHighLevel. And GoHighLevel is a tiered subscription model that you can sign up to using our referral link if you do want to begin working with this software now. I will leave that in the video description below. However, I'm just going to show you exactly why we are going to be using this system, the differences compared to other systems like Monday or HubSpot. We just think this is kind of the best operating system, as well as industry standards have kind of followed this for some time now. So obviously, most businesses do not have a system in place for, keeping track of new leads, keeping track of appointments, making sure that people are actually attending appointments. And they're spending all this money on big ads, big ad campaigns, and big ad creatives, and all these big build outs, and not seeing it come to fruition with the results they want, purely based on the fact that they do not have the systems in place to maintain those touch points, like mentioned. So there's no real way to measure the quality of the lead, and it's very often or not that we see companies running systems like this that will have mobile, website, names, phones, emails, etc., and then have notes per lead. So they'll color code them. They'll say, yeah, green was a great call, have a follow up, etc. We can make a note personally and say, like, yeah, we'll give them a call next Thursday, something like that. And just this requires constant attention and someone constantly looking at it to monitor it and make sure that everyone's staying on track. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the setup systems for the CRM, how to utilize GoHighLevel properly. And I've built out a little template document here that we are going to follow along with this video setup. You can, make note of this and reference this yourself. This is kind of what you would need for yourself as a beginner to start, as well as if you are signing new clients and you're setting up sub accounts for them as well. This is something that you will need to put in practice moving forward. So this is called a standard operating procedure document, SOPs for short. The best kind of practice is to build this out early as possible, so then you can kind of follow it moving on. I've got a much more extensive one, but for the purpose of this video, we're just going to stick with this. So the first thing that I would recommend doing, and when you're getting the CRM set up, is coming and integrating all of your softwares that you currently use. So you're going to come down here on the left hand side and click settings and scroll down until you see integrations. Under integrations, you will see the 3 main ones is the Google Calendar, the Google account, and the Facebook and Instagram login as well. So go ahead and sign up to all of these 3. Make sure that we have access. And when you do have access, it will say like status completed, or it will have your business name below these buttons. So we can go ahead and tick these off. The next thing I want to show you, when you build out a Facebook ad or a creative and you've got it run into an instant form, the questions that are asked on the instant form will need to be mapped into the CRM as well, just so that the CRM is reading the correct information and can relay, all the data onto the system correctly. So what we need to do now is go over to Facebook form fields mapping. Here, it will then show your select page, so then you can select your company here, and then it will have the page name, the form name, and the fields. So right now, obviously, I don't have any fields available as this is a template account. However, there'll be a nice big blue button right here, and you'll go ahead and click map fields. So put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So mapping fields. So we're going to click that. On the left-hand side, you're going to see custom fields. And what we're going to do is we're going to click add new field, a single line text, next, and let's just say I want to ask them, are you a company director? And we want to keep that as a contact and put the group as contact, and then the placeholder, I say director, question mark, and then we can hit save. So this is then going to give you let's just find it. There you go. This is going to give you a custom field. So are you a company director? And this is the unique key that we will be looking for. And we're going to come back to that again, but you can copy that and hold that into your clipboard just for now. So we're now going to need to quickly map a calendar. So this will mirror your Google Calendar, and this is super, super important in terms of making all the backend automations work. It works better running through the CRM calendar, which then mirrors onto your Google Calendar rather than advertising your Google Calendar link. So we're going to click Calendars here, and we're going to click Create New Calendar. And I like to personally use round robin, especially if you've got teams in the you're operating with teams. You can allocate different users and things like this. But if you want to just have a one, sole proprietor of the business, then you can just stick with this personal booking. But for the sake of the video, round robin. So calendar name, we can just do Niall test calendar, but here you can do, your name, online consultation, something like that, 45-minute call, etc. Discovery call, etc. So you can go in and add a calendar description, give insights into what the call will be about, what you plan to discuss on the call, and you could also address like attendance here as well. Maybe say like for the benefit of the company and your time involved as well, we do not reschedule. You can be however free flowing you want with this. So select members, you would obviously select yourself once you have signed up. So for this example, I'm just going to do myself. Custom URL, we can do custom cow 56. There you go. And then for example, that could be your name, consultation call, etc. So duration 30 minutes. I'm just going to keep it for that. And then that is our time scheduling. So obviously you would want to set this up to exactly mirror your availability. And you can do this by going to advanced settings, and then you can play around with your details and things like this. But the most important thing to do here is meeting details. If you are generating things through a Google Meet, scroll down all the way onto the right hand side down here, go high priority and do meeting location, Google Meet. And what that'll do is when a meeting is booked through this calendar, if you've got your Gmail synced up and automated, this will then send out a Gmail invite for the Google Meets using that automation. So super, super important that we get that right. So we can go ahead and tick off create calendar. And the next thing we want to do is sync to Gmail. So if it hasn't already synced to Gmail using the integrations previously, you can come up to here on the left hand side under my profile. And we're going to scroll down, and then you're going to see this email two-way sync, and you are then going to be able to connect your email there. If not, you can scroll down, and it should be, I think it should be here. So add new, and then you can add calendar. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So that's that created as well. So next we need to add is created a pipeline. So we can go back in the settings here, and over on the left hand side you want to click opportunities and then pipelines, and then we're going to create a new pipeline. So we're going to do YouTube pipeline, and the first one is new lead. This is no answer, so we've given the call, no answer. This one is meeting booked, fantastic, we've had a call with them, meeting booked. This one is meeting no show, and then this one, just for the sake of this, we can do client close. Excellent. So this is obviously super basic layout. I'll show you what we kind of tend to run for some of our clients. So we can have new lead, no answer 1 to 7, meeting booked, second meeting booked, appointment no show, follow up arranged, client close, and dead lead. So you can really extensively, build that out to however you kind of want. So we'll click create pipeline as we have just done that. So the last thing that we need to do in terms of settings is going down here into settings again, and then phone numbers. And first of all, if you're in the UK, you will want to do this and buy a regulatory bundle. First of all, you will need to set up an address bundle. Once you have an address bundle, it will then give you the option to set up a regulatory bundle, and then you can utilize this information that gets generated as well. So do this one first, then go over to this one. If you are in the US or Canada, a regulatory bundle is not advised, it's not necessary. So we would go over to here, add phone number. Let's just say US. You can do a local number, or if you want to send outside of your state or regions, you would need to do a toll free, which would then require A2P registration. A little bit complicated. I'll have to go into another video on that. But they are how to kind of set up your phone numbers. So you can find other videos online, I'm sure, to get phone numbers, but that's obviously a super basic idea. So once you have a phone number, we need to create an inbound lead notification. So our new lead campaign has generated some leads, and we want to make sure that when a lead comes through, we are being told that a lead is being coming through, rather than checking Facebook or something like that to see if we have a new lead. So we're going to build out a super easy automation that's going to instruct you on your phone and send you a text message to notify you when a new lead comes through. So click automations here on the left, And what we are going to do is just go to create new workflow, and we're going to go start from scratch. And we're going to call this test new lead. Excellent. So our trigger is obviously going to be the Facebook form. So we have a Facebook form lead submitted. So our trigger, type in Facebook form, go onto the page. Your page would be whatever it says there. It will have the business because we've integrated it previously. And then here what we can do is then pages, and then I think it's form is, and then select the correct form as well. So once you have the form in place, that should allow you to do that. Oh, this is going to be very tricky. Okay, let's go back quickly. I'll just show you the one that's already built. Okay, Facebook form submitted. So this will then allow you to do form is and then select the form. This is the next stage. So we will click this plus button here, and this will be the create or update opportunity. So let me just copy that for you as well. Create an update opportunity. And what we're going to do is we're going to then choose the new pipeline that we built, YouTube pipeline. When it's a new lead, we want it to go into the new lead category. We want to keep contact name as their name, just so we can reference them straight away, nice and easy. And we're going to click save. Perfect. So that saves the trigger being set, the lead coming into the pipeline, and the next thing we want to do is actually send us a text message. So we're then going to do the plus again and type SMS. In fact, we can do internal, we'll do internal notification. So click that. We can then type the type of notification to SMS. We're going to click particular user at the bottom, and we're going to click myself. So that would obviously be yourself. And so what's going to happen here? Oh, so you're obviously going to have your new qualified leads and things like that. So we're going to have a text message typed out that says new qualified lead. You could say from USA, you could say from Canada, you could say from UK, wherever, whatever funnel it comes from, that's where you want to get it. That's where you want to have that information right there. So going back to this, when we made the custom fields, let me get that up real quick. So director, are you a company director? Perfect. So you are going to want to type in your name, your email, and your phone. And to receive the information pulled from the form, we're going to have to use these little unique tags, and they're called unique keys. And you can find them through this custom values tab here. So obviously for name, email, and phone, these are already predetermined under the contact section. So you can just literally click them in, and then it will just auto-populate like that. But then for the question 1, or question 2, question 3 that you've built out in the form, you'll obviously need to map these yourself. So question 1 is for us is, are you a director? So I could just say, just for the purpose of this, just say director, question mark, colon, and then what we can do is copy this unique key that we made earlier, put this into this position here, and we can click save. So what's going to happen is when we get a new lead, this is auto-populated into the pipeline, so you can see exactly where that lead has come from and where they are now. And then you're going to see a text message ping through to your phone with their name, their email, their answers to their questions. The last important step is the settings, and I want to make sure that you get this involved as well. But this settings from number, make sure that you select the number that corresponds with where you're running the campaigns. So for example, if you are running a UK campaign and this is being sent out to UK customers, you will want to make sure that you are using a UK telephone number. However, if you are running a US or Canada inbound funnel, then you will need to make sure that you are then changing this over from a UK number to a compliant number that will work in US and Canada. This will also mean if you are running UK and US and Canada separately, you will need to duplicate this and then run them separately. So we can tick that off as well. I'm going to skip this one, appointment reminders, just for now. I'm going to show you this SDR appointment setters. So we can then also instruct someone within your team to make the contact as well. So internal notification is obviously going to be sent to yourself. It's going to notify you that you have a new lead and things like this. You have 2 options in terms of what you can do next. So internal notification again, you can then send another notification to another member of your team. Let's just say Mr. Onboard Test, that might be my twin brother. And you're then going to instruct this person to make the phone call. So obviously this is going to go to your SDR. You can say like new lead acquired, new lead, make call within 5 minutes. Okay, so something super basic like that. That's going to notify your SDR. That's going to make sure that they make the phone call. You can then tag them in, give them their name, their phone, their email. So then they can just press the button straight away. So that's that. That is a super basic setup for your SDR. I'm going to show you a super juicy one right now, and this is an integration with Slack. So this is for the online business guys. You're going to want to connect your Slack account into the integrations tab, which I showed you at the beginning of the video, and then it will then allow you to select the public channel and then send a message in that public channel. I'm going to give you some source right now. Here is a message that we send our SDRs on Slack. So, call to confirm, 3 hours until the meeting. This is just an example. So, purpose of the call, confirm the lead that will still be attending the meeting. This is 3 hours before the meeting will take place. So, this will pull the account name. So, the account name would be, obviously in this case, it would be template, but let's just say you're a roofing company. This would be like Bournemouth Roofing or something like that. That would be the account name. The contact first name would be the name of the lead, and it will have their telephone number directly linked there. And this will then send them directly to the linked page. So what we've done here, we've just changed in the location ID up here, and then changed the ending as well to make sure that it adds the contact details as well. So that is going to be a quick Slack message straight to your SDR to get them to make phone calls ASAP, because speed to lead is super important. So the last thing to touch on is the appointment reminders. And this is going to be the place where we take appointment show rates up from, 20% upwards to 60 to 80%. So I'm going to give you a very basic kind of overview. I'm not going to go too far into depth, but the appointment reminders will be triggered off a appointment being booked within the calendar, and then you can then do a series of text and wait sequences. So I'll just show you how to set this up, just so you can kind of understand the setup for the wait sequences. So we're waiting 24 hours after the appointment's booked to send them a text saying, "Hi, name. Here's your appointment reminder, booked for tomorrow at this time, at this date, at this time zone." And then we do 3 hours, 1 hour, 5 minutes. And then the instant is going to be an appointment reminder confirmation, where we ask them to get confirmation as well. So that's just, touch and go kind of setup in terms of how to book appointments, how to manage the booked appointments within the CRM. And then it also gives us an understanding of exactly what kind of systems we can add on later down the line as well.